So you're uniquely postured here because you get to encounter many different walks and help many different people that not only are entrepreneurs, but are struggling and need help. Do you find any common threads between those that you have anything that would be valuable to share back to the audience?
I think one of the things that is it's such a diverse audience. One of the things that I've kind of learned myself to help coach better is there's different definitions of success. Some people start businesses to, world domination, become a millionaire and start generational wealth. Some business owners only want to just make a living, be their own boss and get by. And another business owner may intend to fail because they just want a part-time business for 5, 6, 7 years. And then they're going to quit because maybe they wanted to focus on being a stay-at-home parent, but have a really flexible income for a couple of years. When their child is more independent, they'll go back into the workforce. All three of those businesses can be successful. It's all about what you want and not so much what others tell you to want, because there are a lot of statistics that say if you do this certain thing, you'll be more successful. And a lot of different ways to frame that. And then they go do this thing trying to be more successful, but it doesn't exactly work out for them because it may not align with their goals. And I would wager if you were to ask the people that were polled in this statistic that we're referencing, it may not have worked as great for them as they intended, but it was still a success by certain measurables, because marketing companies can set up statistics to say it was successful because we provided ABC, but the business owner's expectation may have been XYZ. Still by definition success, but didn't quite meet their goals. So where I'm going with this is set up your own goals and be your own definer of success, and don't let others sway you kind of one way or another, because you're going to figure it out as long as you keep moving forward.
That's a very interesting piece of advice in the world that we live in, because there are so many voices tugging at us, telling us this is how you should do this. This is the morning routine you should follow. Others say don't follow a morning routine at all. Some of them say you need to outsource this thing or not outsource this thing. There's varied opinions across the board. Typically, everybody that's relaying this information has some amount of success, or they wouldn't have a platform to speak with. And so I think you're right. It does have to be your own definition of success, which is funny because it leads us right back to self-awareness.
Every time.
Some of the entrepreneurs that I've encountered, and I'm curious if you've had similar, have never really sat down and defined why the hell they started a business. They felt like they were supposed to. They jumped ship, left a job, or maybe they never went into the workforce. They started a business. And here they are. And you ask them, what's your why? What is your purpose? What are you wanting to accomplish? I don't know. It seemed cool. I don't know. What would you recommend as an exercise, we'll call it, to kind of drill down and get to what that root is?
I think it kind of goes to something I was saying earlier of get rid of the tasks you don't enjoy doing and start to love your business again. Even if you're afraid it's going to cost you money in the short term, once you find out kind of why you love your business or what you love about your business, it's going to help with kind of the self-awareness factor. And it can also be some long-term development. One of the best words a business owner can use is the word no. When you're getting sold something or when someone's working with you, just being able to say no is great. So almost every entrepreneur I know either has something on their computer or something on their desk that is a list of ideas that may sound incredibly promising, but if we're being self-aware with ourselves, we're never going to do those ideas. They're pipe dreams, and all that they're doing is stressing us out every time we look at them. So start crossing off those ideas and start just executing on what already gets executed on, and become more efficient and start saying no to all of these kind of random ideas. And if you only want to work 40 hours a week, only work 40 hours a week. Because when you're your own boss for the first time, it becomes really easy to start at 30 or 40 and then go to 50 when you need to, and then go to 60, 70, and then 80. And now you're so overworked, you've become incredibly unproductive that you're not getting anything done, even though you're working 80 hours a week. So set some work limits to yourself as if you had a manager, as if you had a boss. That way you're staying productive. And the best way to start working less is learn the power of no and start saying no to all this extra stuff. And that's going to give you so much more time for things that are important in your life outside of business. And a good work-life balance is so much more important than getting a few more tasks done a week.
I think that the entrepreneurs that are going to struggle and are probably on the cusp of hitting that statistic that we're trying to eliminate here have a tendency to gravitate towards shiny objects and are masters at creating distractions for themselves. You can ask almost any entrepreneur, the ones that are struggling specifically, and you ask them, how's it going? And they're like, I'm busy. What are you busy with? I'm just busy. I'm busy.
Yeah.
Busy. Okay. With what? And they can't really define that, ironically, or they'll throw some things out and you're like, well, how does that relate to like what you're trying to accomplish? But so I told you before we got on here that I'm also starting a coaching program, and the mentor that's pushing me to do that was working through this concept with me. I think that all, again, lines up with this self-awareness piece, and that they lack a true understanding of where or what the goal or intention was to begin with. And so because there's a space, they fill it with something so as not to feel that they are doing nothing. And I think it was last night I made a Facebook post. It was just a simple quote, and the quote is something along the lines of, basically, this busy work that you're doing makes you feel like you're being productive, but it's probably wasted energy, and it'd be better to be still. I actually find the last time I saw you, we were in front of the place that I practice jujitsu. I find a lot of parallels in between that. So whenever I don't know how to get out of, a choke or whatever, I'm still until I've thought through where I need to go, because any exertion of energy is just use of oxygen that's going to get me to tap. And I think it works similarly. So there's this struggle that response for these entrepreneurs that they need to fill their time with something to feel that they're being productive. But if they would just be still for a second and be more self-reflective, which seems counterproductive at the moment or in the moment. What are your thoughts on that concept? This is very, I didn't expect to go down that path, but it's a very vague idea that I'm playing with right now, trying to figure out how to formulate it. So maybe we can bounce off each other here and figure this out.
I think even the idea of just having a hobby in general is a great way to start practicing productivity when it matters and getting away from what I think is a super toxic hustle culture. Like when I was first like a young entrepreneur, I wanted to be busy for the sake of being busy, because all the people that I met with and kind of idolized in the local business scale, they were always busy. So I want to be busy too. I want to be the busiest one, because being busy means wealth, right? Being busy means you're awesome, but that's not exactly true. As a matter of fact, being busy sucks. Being busy is annoying because you don't have time to hang out with your family. You don't have time to watch Netflix even. So find a hobby. And even if it's not something super cool and outgoing, like a martial art, maybe it's just a Netflix show at first. Find something on Netflix that you can binge watch that gets you away from your desk at 5 or 6 p.m. That way you can start just unwinding and focusing on you. And some kind of hobby is going to give you so much more just flexibility and freedom to breathe and find inspiration again. More often than not, the least inspiring place an entrepreneur can be is at their computer, at their desk.
Very, very true. Very true. And when he says desk, like that's a reference to digital marketers, but that could apply to any business owner, and like whatever, maybe it's on a job site or, behind the counter at the shop or whatever the heck it is.